Hello, my name is Nicholas Lee, and I am an aspiring teacher in the education program at Wisconsin Lutheran College. I would like to follow Wisconsin Lutheran College's philosophy of being a servant leader. I would like to model the Lord by being a servant leader to show my students the way of the Lord. Doing this, I will be a model for my students to look up to, and they will be able to follow my core beliefs within the establishment of my classroom. To begin with, I would like to follow the essentialism philosophy model for my class. The United States is failing as an industrialized nation within just the core classes of mathematics, reading, and language. But more importantly, we as a nation scored dead last in critical thinking. If we would like to see the United States become a forefront of the world in education, I, as a teacher, need to make sure that my students understand not only the core subjects, but also how to think critically with the knowledge that I give them. Within the essentialism belief, I also believe that it is important for me to model high expectations to my students. I will require that they come to class prepared, focused for the day's classes. In return, I will show them that I am highly prepared and offer a classroom that is engaging and full of knowledge. Students will be required to hold to the high standards that I set for them, but also they will have to set a goal for themselves to be accountable to. To be the best teacher, though, more than one philosophy has to be followed, and I would like to follow the essentialism the closest, but I also think that students will be the bar at which a teacher should set the philosophy towards. I think a good teacher cannot just stick to one philosophy, but has to understand all philosophies to be the most beneficial to their classroom. I will have a predetermined essentialist class format, but will have the understanding that all students may not be able to learn in this environment. It will be my knowledge of all the other philosophies that I will be able to integrate into my philosophy to help the class be as successful as possible. How is it that I can make my classroom successful? Well, I have the understanding of multiple intelligence. I will be able to see that students will learn best under what intelligence. I will be able to conform lesson plans to model the needs of my students. I have knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy and how raising the level of questioning can help my students think critically, beyond just the knowledge of the material. I have gained knowledge of how the prefrontal cortex of the brain develops and how that determines how the students will learn. I also understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how students' needs have to be met at the very basic level before they have higher needs met, and how this could have an effect on my classroom, especially in the urban setting. To be a teacher that relies on one way of teaching does not meet the needs of the diversity of students that walk into the classroom every day. To follow philosophy to help keep our class focused, but to allow different philosophies to be incorporated into the classroom will not only allow students some freedom of the everyday drill of school, but also me as a teacher freedom to teach in different capacities. My goal is to have every one of my students become successful in the future, to make the future of the country successful, and I would like to do that following the Lord as a servant leader.